Malaysia experiences COVID surge as Tzu Chi donates multifunction beds to a local quarantine center. Participants in an online Tzu Chi youth study group in Beijing visits a teen with a rare form of diabetes. I'm Sean Scanlon. This is Dai Headlines. Malaysia added 662 new COVID cases in Kelantan, with beds running out in the local quarantine center. Upon learning this, Digi immediately provided multifunction beds and other bedding. Here's more.
The map shows the densely packed areas with confirmed COVID cases. There are 2,875 new cases in one day alone. Among them, 662 were from Kelantan, causing the quarantine centers in the entire state to be fully stretched.
Ini adalah PKRC yang keempat.
This is the fourth low-risk quarantine center in Kota Baru. Approximately 200 beds were added here to cope with the sudden increase in confirmed patients.
Bilangan pesakit yang bertambah secara mendadak.
This time, to set up a quarantine center, not only volunteers from Tzu Chi and other NGOs, but also community residents took the initiative to support the beds and assist in their placement.
We have delivered a total of 196 beds for patients that are going to be admitted here. It was a very lucky thing that we also received some good news from a donor who are willing to donate the double-decker bed, which Dr. Asman really needs. So last night and today, we have a total of 60 over volunteers from the community coming here to help assemble the beds.
Yesterday, we delivered the mattresses and bed frames first. Then today, everyone came here to assemble them. Although we are sweating, our hearts are full of joy.
Under the pandemic, one can still feel the power of mutual assistance. Tzu Chi has the obligation to fight the pandemic together.
Thanks for the Tzu Chi for helping us for these 2 weeks. Many help from Buddhist Tzu Chi. So we hope that the COVID-19 will reduce after our Kelantan is in PKP.
In 2018, when the campfire happened, a church in the area became a local resource and recovery center, giving free food and clothes. Digi offered support to fire survivors, helping them return to normal as soon as possible.
Get this stuff out, yes. Put some of this stuff up, speakers and stuff over there. The racks look better, you guys.
Yeah, they look good. Thank you.
You can walk instead of bumping into everything now.
Yes.
My name's Dennis Holmes, and I'm operation manager now. When I came in here, it wasn't organized. I mean, now look at it. It looks like a store. I know what I'm doing here. If I didn't know what I was doing here, I would have been gone.
There's so much work to do here, and it wears on you, especially if you're here 24 hours a day. And Dennis stepped in right at the right time, and he's been a godsend.
I decided to move up here to the ridge, to Magalia, this church. They asked me if I would live on site.
He was volunteering to actually run the whole operations center, which was just amazing because we needed strong leadership.
Just take and brain it like that. I was living in paradise where the fire was coming up. People that hasn't been gone through the fire like this, they don't know what it's like. I mean, this is history here. I mean, this is something that nobody has ever experienced. It's gonna be hard for a lot of people. It's the people that don't have anything. A lot of people need me here as far as organizing so they can get the food out faster and get resources. They need support. If they don't have the support, you don't know what they'll be doing now.
So Tzu Chi showed up here very early on, brought blankets, and just teams of volunteers would come up, usually once a week, and they would actually help us. Not just in terms of providing volunteers, but helping us with anything we need help with.
You know, I'm in the same situation that some some of these people are. And some of us are lucky to have people like you guys to help us out. I was so excited when I heard that there was possibly an RV. Somebody from the Tzu Chis that would help me get an RV and stuff and that. So I've been living here ever since that. And I'm loving it. It's bigger. I feel really comfortable here. I thank you guys for doing what you guys are doing. I mean, there's a need for you guys here for the people. I mean, I'm tired, but I'm not going nowhere. Not until this place is taken care of.
In Haiti, Tzu Chi Foundation distributed the first batch of rice this year, helping 3,150 households receive rice. During the distribution, many expressed concern for the Troco train derailment in Taiwan, donating a total of $47. Here's more.
Around 3,000 households gathered in the open, praying faithfully.
Bon Dieu grand maître, nous réunis matin dans l'année 2021 ça que n'a pral fait première distribution dans l'année. N'a demandé ou pour capable accompagner nous.
Dear Lord, today is our first time meeting in 2021, and we will begin with our first rice distribution. We kindly request you to support our means, and with this chance, we would like to thank you because you are the hope of our lives. We are also grateful to volunteers who help with distribution. We are also grateful to Master Zhen Yan and Tzu Chi volunteers all over, as they distribute rice to us every year. Besides thanking Master Zhen Yan, many Tzu Chi volunteers express great Tzu Chi spirit in terms of love with no boundaries. Let us pray faithfully and hope everyone lives a safe and peaceful life. Amen.
Donc, nous voulons dire Master Chenyen merci. Et à côté Master Chenyen, nous remercions toute fondation Tzu Chi parce que il y a un pile volontaire là-dedans, il y a un pile monde qui devrait pour être capable de faire charité, pour être capable de montrer l'autre combien il y aurait meilleur. Nous demandons ça ou même qui vivent et qui voient depuis tout le temps et pour tout le temps. Amen.
Locals donated money to the bamboo coin banks in order to help aid the Taroko train derailment accident.
Merci, Master!
An act of kindness bringing happiness.
A Lotus Sutra performance will take place at the Hualien Jingsa Hall on May 5th, celebrating the 55th anniversary of the Tzu Chi Foundation. Nearly 500 volunteers from across Taiwan entered the final stage of rehearsal. Take a look.
Kneeling on the floor to mark placeholders, these volunteers are ready for the adaptation of Lotus Sutra to celebrate Tzu Chi's 55th anniversary. Nearly 500 volunteers from all over Taiwan gather at Hualien Jingsa Hall for rehearsals.
Because my memory is poor and because of my age, I am learning diligently to prevent my memory from deteriorating quickly. When we learn, our movements are slower. Fortunately, the young fit volunteers are very patient with us.
The Lotus Sutra, together with the volunteers' charitable works on the Bodhisattva path in the past few decades, are integrated into the Sutra adaptation performance. The first batch of volunteers involved are almost all senior Tzu Chi volunteers, as the scene is quite touching.
Many of the movements are actually based upon Tzu Chi volunteers' real-life activity when disasters happen. This was in harmony with our sutras, and the feeling was very vivid and intriguing.
I need to learn the Dharma, go deep into the Dharma, and then spread the Dharma. This is my biggest wish this time.
Through the process of learning the sutra adaptation this way, we can put these sutras into our heart. Through lots of practices after practice, invisibly it will become part of us and rooted in our heart. In the future, when we walk on this Bodhisattva path, our actions can match with the sutra and verify it.
Digi uses the Lotus Sutra to spread goodness into the hearts of people. At this moment, when the world is feeling desperate, it is important to spread this energy and love.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Beijing hold online reading clubs for children every 2 weeks. Some of the participants visited a teen, Zhang Chen, who is suffering from a rare type of diabetes.
Driving around the mountain road and coming to 13-year-old Zhang Chen's house was an appointment volunteers have with her once a month. Diagnosed with a rare condition called diabetes insipidus when she was 2.5 years old, her parents worked away from home for many years to raise medical expenses. So she started caring for her in 2016. On this trip, a few more young volunteers who participate in offline reading clubs had a chance to meet each other.
因为姐姐18岁啦，姐姐可以负责去照顾比她更小的这种小朋友。
Kang Yuran, who is young and delicate, hides the fact that her face suffers from congenital hemangioma. The company of volunteers for more than 2 years has transformed a once shy girl into a confident girl.
We were all given something different. Some are healthy, some are sick, some are beautiful, some are average, but none of this affects our ability to chase our dreams.
我们去追逐自己的梦想。
不要小看自己。对，没有，不是。
可能。
Later, a do-it-yourself lunch was held with simple vegetarian dishes. All of these children were eager to participate.
It is the first time to put on this volunteer vest and to participate in this event. I feel very happy. Then I hope that next time, that person will also call me. I will continue to accompany you, and I want to go to many children's homes to help them.
去好多小朋友的家帮助他们。
Finding her self-worth makes the girl's smile bloom like a bright flower.
57-year-old Huang Chunlin suffered a blood clot in the brain, which caused a stroke. He doesn't have anyone in Hainan, as Digi volunteers went to care for him every other day, helping him with his rehabilitation and his meals.
问他说想不想哈？他说想。有没有信心？他说有。那然后我们就跟他讲说。 那好了，我们一起去做好事，好不好？他说好。
Lying in bed is 57-year-old Huang Chunlin, who moved to Hainan 10 years ago on his own for work. But last August, he suffered a stroke and could not get in contact with his family.
有味道不？味道什么味道？
青。 我要上早班的时候就下午来。
When I work in the morning, I come here in the afternoon. When I work at night, I come here in the morning and then repeat the day after, seeing how he has improved a little at times, like his ability to speak to return or how he can stick his tongue out. He can now eat on his own holding a spoon. It has all been so rewarding.
拿着勺子自己慢慢的能进食。
哦，好棒哦！
Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for him since February of this year and helped with his rehabilitation as well as food intake, taking care of him just like family, finally giving him some motivation to move forward.
右手的话呢？
He's gaining more use of his right hand now. When we asked him to touch his ears, he used to have to turn his head to reach it. But now he can touch it directly. He has more control of his body now. When I have used to change the bed sheets, his body was hard as a rock, and he wasn't able to flip over. But now he can fit on his own.
When one looks at the calendar, the visitation time is very evident, which also includes blood donating events.
If a patient needs blood transfusion, they will need the blood of a relative. But since he doesn't have any relatives nearby, we are here to help him.
Volunteers rallied friends and family to help donate blood to help Mr. Huang, just so that on his road to recovery, he is not alone.
Hualien Digi care recipient Mr. Li has been sick on and off for the past 10 years. Upon learning that his home has been leaking, that he has no bathing facilities, volunteers decide to build him a more comfortable place using a container home.
Getting the foundation ready and measuring where the container home will go, Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Wenfu leads the construction team to help Mr. Li build a comfortable living space.
Mr. Li doesn't have a bathroom, and he used outdoors for cleaning up. and it slowly affected his health. We thought to give him a safer place to live will be better.
Finally, with everyone's help, the 20-feet container home is placed and shall solve Mr. Lee's problem of a safe living corner.
The design of the container will have bathing equipment and bed facilities. Basically, by meeting these two needs of his life will stabilize and he won't have any problems in life. I didn't have a shower or a toilet before and lived outdoors, so it wasn't very sanitary. Now life is convenient and I'm thankful for Tzu Chi for changing my life around.
Getting such a beautiful place to stay, Mr. Lee is beyond grateful and hopes to repay this kindness by doing more for the planet.
The mobile recycling station was officially launched in July last year. All the props inside are secondhand. Children can experience recycling with their 5 senses and even practice it at home. Even the Education Bureau staff participated.
In terms of learning, children should also learn environmental protection concepts, which is closely related to daily life. The mobile recycling education station was completed in June of 2020. The props inside the 40-feet HQ container are all second-hand, and the electricity is self-sufficient. The mobile recycling station goes to different school campuses to implement environmental protection education, allowing students to learn with their 5 senses.
It is not enough to let the children just listen, but if they are allowed to practice or play on site, I think they will understand it more. In addition to participating, children can also be the tour guides. In the past 10 months, the mobile recycling station has traveled to many school campuses in central Taiwan and is well received. Even the staff of the Education Bureau came to have a look. To care for the environment, one should learn the concepts of eco-friendliness. If one starts learning in elementary school, it is possible to develop it into a habit. A teacher can influence a class of children, while a child influences their family. The influence of kindness goes from younger generations to elder ones. Every pair of eyes from children's diligent study is also the driving force for this mobile recycling station to go forward continuously.
Let us resume our series about waste mushroom bags, which are now used in farming. Tari is using waste mushroom bags once again for planting mushrooms, creating more opportunities and sustainability in the mushroom industry.
Available resources produced by their own hands, yet they cannot use it according to law. This has caused troubles for farmers. It's really a waste to throw things away. In Taiwan's mushroom industry, 80% of mushroom farmers buy grow bags from vendors, but after each harvest, large amounts of mushroom grow bags have to be thrown away. This made Mita Eco Fungi eager to find a solution. We just want to express a new way of planting mushrooms. We also won't produce new waste materials just because we want to plant mushrooms.
A typical grow bag for mushrooms costs 10 NT dollars with new sawdust filled up inside, but this farm here uses 0 sawdust in the cultivation of mushrooms.
We use straw because in the past, straw was burnt in order for people to reuse waste materials. Therefore, in our bags, we use a lot of straw. We have also added in coffee grounds. Each oyster fungus is fat and healthy. This is thanks to the proper usage of recycled materials. The bags after harvest can be used again in another round of cultivation.
We normally plant mushrooms on large mushroom beds. It requires a lot of compost too. But the mushrooms we see here are packed into grow bags and the compost is eco-friendly. and it contains materials from the previous oyster fungus mushroom.
At the bottom, we place materials from the previous oyster mushroom bags. We don't compost like others, and we have saved up 3 months of composting time. Not using sawdust, free from composting, these techniques are the first in the world, and as other mushroom types undergo experiment, productions have exceeded the supply of mushroom grow bags. The mushroom you see right now is at the 3rd harvest. There are even 4th harvests on the shelf. Our goal is to use 1 space bag and up to 6 rounds of harvesting. Here, recycled mushroom bags are used twice. Though the nutritious value seems to decrease, the 3rd round of usage found home at a strawberry field.
When we recycle waste mushroom grow bags, we also use recycled rice hulls that comes with it. Strawberry roots require oxygen and it doesn't need to be saturated in water. Thus, after adding in rice hulls, it has more air permeability. These are all recycled materials, and in comparison with peat soil, we can save costs up to 66%.
In Taiwan, strawberries are normally planted in imported peat soil. Now, waste mushroom bags have replaced it, providing more nutrition efficiency.
This is 粉碎后的狼尾草，那这样的一个大小就适合拿来我们的这个布包里面使用。
Napier grass contains too much fiber, therefore it is not suitable for cows. But applying it into space bags, it became a perfect replacement for sawdust. We replace sawdust 100% because Napier grass grows fast. Within a month, it can grow up to 2 meters in height. Crushed Napier grass is now packed into space bags, elevating the quality and quantity of mushroom production. After harvest, waste bags are then dried and extracted for content, becoming food for dairy cows. Waste mushroom grow bags can cultivate mushrooms and feed cows. The reusability proves that, though it's unwanted material, it still contains a lot of valuable nutrition. After the first round of harvest, the mushroom bed will have up to 50% of water. We use the remaining nutrition for composting, thus it's easier for it to heat up. This means that the nutrition within it is very sufficient. The technology of reusing mushroom bags have crossed industries such as grass production, feed mills, and stock farming. Though it's highly efficient, mushroom bags itself cannot rely on just mushroom farmers for outputting. Grass needs to be transported and dried. The same goes for waste mushroom bags. So now we are promoting the connecting of industry chains, hoping to reduce the overall cost. Mushrooms are a type of fungi, as it plays the role of decomposition in nature. With the push of technology, mushrooms are now utilized in several industries, lowering the cost while bringing in more productivity.
Monrovia Great Love Kindergarten in the United States combines Filial Piety Day with Earth Day to hold a series of activities over 5 days. Children gave recycled resources as gifts.